warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We begin from the National Assembly, where Nigeria's Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has taken Africa's voice to the global stage, calling for stronger parliamentary action to deepen digital trade. Speaking at the World Trade Organization Interparliamentary Union Steering Committee in Geneva, Switzerland, Kalu emphasized that Africa is not waiting for others to define its digital future. Our National Assembly correspondent, Aniyete Patrick, will give us more details in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu has condoled with Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the families of the victims of the affected Tuesday's fire incident at the Afilan building on Broad Street, Lagos Island. In a statement issued in Abuja, the First Lady also commiserated with the management and staff of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, United Capital, and United Bank for Africa. She prayed for the peaceful repose of the deceased, quick healing for the injured, and strength for those left behind to bear the weight of such an irreparable loss. Moving to Rivers State, where Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu are resuming office following the end of the 6-month emergency rule imposed by President Bola Tinubu. Thousands of excited supporters gathered at the government house to welcome them, while security and emergency officials were stationed around the premises. The outgoing administrator, Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, urged political actors to embrace mutual respect and dialogue as he handed out overpower. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has pledged continued support for President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, with focus on health, nutrition, and education, adhering capital development. UNICEF's country representative Wafa Saeed Abdul-Latif gave the assurance during a visit to Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, commending the administration's flagship programs such as the Nutrition 774 initiative. Shettima described UNICEF as a dependable partner and said the government remains committed to working closely with the agency to drive youth employment and educational reforms. Away to education, where the National Examination Council (NECO) has released the results of the 2025 Senior School Certificate Examination SSCE internal 54 days after the last written paper. Global Television's correspondent Priscilla Obasi now reports.
At the NECO headquarters in Minna, Niger State, Registrar of the Council, Professor Ibrahim Wushishi, announced that out of 1.3 million candidates who sat for the June-July examination, 818,492, representing 60.26%, scored 5 credits and above, including mathematics and English.
Number of candidates with 5 credits and above, irrespective of mathematics and English, is 1,144,496 candidates.
Wushishi also disclosed a significant drop in malpractice cases, with 3,878 candidates involved this year compared to over 10,000 in 2024. He added 38 schools in 13 states have been flagged for mass cheating, while 9 supervisors have been recommended for blacklisting.
9 supervisors, 3 in Rivers, 1 in Niger, 3 in FCT, 1 in Kano, and 1 in Osun states were recommended for blacklisting due to poor supervision, aiding and abetting, lateness, unruly behavior, assault, and insubordination.
Meanwhile, Kano, Lagos, and Oyo states produced the highest number of candidates with 5 credits and above, including mathematics and English, while the Gabon Center recorded no candidate with such performance, highlighting the sharp disparity across regions. With the new curriculum now in effect, NECO will also streamline its exams to 38 subjects to cut down waiting time for results. Priscilla Obasi, Global Television News.
Let's now head to Kaduna State, where the government has begun the implementation of the new 72,000 naira minimum wage for civil servants, with workers on grade level 1 to 6 being the first beneficiaries. The announcement was made by the Nigerian Labour Congress Kaduna State Council during a press briefing where the union confirmed that the process had officially commenced but insisted that full implementation for all workers must follow promptly. Speaking to journalists, the state NLC chairman Ayuba Suleiman explained that while the development is a positive step, there are still gaps that needed to be addressed, especially at the local government level and within certain sectors. Moving to electoral matters, where the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says the most effective way to guarantee greater representation for women and other marginalized groups in elective positions is through affirmative action backed by clear legal provisions. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, stated this while receiving members of the Women's Collective Forum on advocacy visit to the INEC headquarters in Abuja. Our correspondent, Sadia Yakubu, completes the story.
The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, explained that the ongoing review of the Constitution and the Electoral Act provides an opportunity to push for amendment that will entrench women's participation in legislative assemblies and party leadership structures. Professor Yakubu noted that INEC already operates a gender policy with women leading more than half of its departments and directorates. He added that political parties have also been urged to open more space for underrepresented groups.
We recognize the importance of taking such steps. In the last few years, the Commission created a special women's-only slot for promotion to the rank of director, and this policy has paid off. Today, 12 out of 22 departments and directors of the Commission are headed by women.
Meanwhile, the ambassador to Ethiopia and Djibouti, Koyo Toyo, commended INEC's efforts in the electoral process and appealed to the Commission to provide women an avenue for proper representation at all levels of government.
I can tell you that the women's movement in Nigeria has studied almost every country you can imagine on what they have done, what they have not done, and why the situation continues to be different for us.
The INEC boss, however, assured the Women's Collective Forum of the Commission's continued support in advancing inclusive democracy in Nigeria.
Sadia Yakubu reporting for Global Television News.
And now moving to Katsina State, where High Court has sentenced Rabiu Musa Matazu, Director of Administration of the Sokoto Rima River Basin Development Authority, to 6 years imprisonment for misusing public funds. Independent Corrupt Practices Commission (ICPC) arraigned Matazu on 4 counts of breach of trust and abuse of office after he diverted 305,000 naira. Respondent Felicity Indiri reports.
Speaking at the 8th International Water Conference in Makurdi, the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Otave, stressed that the access to clean water, food security, and flood control remain top priorities of the present administration. He explained that the new dams would serve as a major step towards addressing long-standing challenges in Nigeria's water and agricultural sector.
It is not only Katsina Ala Dam that we are concessioning. We are also at the process of concessioning the Bawaku Dam, also here in Benue State. And there are other dams also that we are working on. We are working on the Dasa Hausa in Adamawa State. We are working on the Tisip Dam in Kaduna State. These dams we are also working on a public-private partnership basis. There's a concession process. So that when this is being done, these dams will be put to use in irrigating Nigeria.
Experts at the gathering also underscored the urgency of strengthening urban water infrastructure and implementing governance reforms to ensure sustainability.
By empowering the next generation of engineers and water management professionals, we can ensure that they are equipped with the skills and knowledge necessary ready to tackle the water challenges of tomorrow.
It is our duty to innovate, collaborate, and design solutions that will not only meet today's needs, but also secure our future. In the next 3 days, we shall interrogate the key issues towards the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDGs.
The Brunei State government, through its Chief of Staff, reaffirmed its commitment to supporting the project and ensuring they deliver long-term benefit to local communities.
And how do we do that? We are looking at a model now where the service providers will be given the mandate of maintaining those states such that they become sustainable. We understand that water security underpins food security, inner security, and environmental resilience. We are therefore committed to policies and initiatives that promote sustainable water development.
The conference themed Sustainable Urban Water Development and Management in Nigeria brought together policymakers, engineers and stakeholders to deliberate on solutions that will align Nigeria with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6 on clean water and sanitation. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global TV News.
You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, South Africa's commission moves to probe claims linking judiciary with crimes. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories. On the other side of this break, please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. And now to business news, where the Federal Allocation Accounts Committee says the federal government, states and local governments have shared 2.25 trillion naira as August 2025 revenue, a 12% rise from July's distribution. Office of the Accountant General of the Federation explains that the revenue comprised statutory allocations, value-added tax, electronic money transfer levy, and exchange differences. Officials say the payout marked the third straight month of growth, though oil and gas royalties rose, while collections from petroleum profit tax, import duty, and company income tax declined. Still in business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has announced the appointment of Mariamu Idris, Managing Director of the NNPC Trading Limited, as Nigeria's new representative to the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. Idris will serve as OPEC's Economic Commission Board, where she will help shape global oil policy while continuing to lead NNPC trading. With over 20 years of experience in the oil and gas sector, she is expected to strengthen Nigeria's voice in the global energy market. The federal government has assured Nigerian farmers of consistent and affordable access to fertilizers as the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative enters the new phase. Authorities say the program, now in its third stage, is designed to strengthen supply chains, boost local productions, and cut reliance on export. The Chief Executive Officer, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, Dr. Armstrong Ume Takang, says the program is designed to guarantee steady and affordable access to farmers nationwide. Kikilomo Okewe completes the story.
Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, regarded as cornerstone of Nigeria food security drive, has made significant progress in ensuring fertilizer availability. Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, Dr. Armstrong Ume Tangag, says between 2022 and 2025, 48 vessels has delivered critical raw materials for blending. It reveals that in 2025, more than 560,000 metric tons have already been received at the Nigerian port, a record that reassures farmers of continuous supply.
Agriculture contributes at least 25% of our GDP. That tells you you're the heart of it. The richness of the soil determines the yield, and the yield determines so many other things. But if our soil is destroyed, and the potency of the fertilizer that we supply is questionable, then we are creating so much more havoc and destruction for the livelihoods of those millions of Nigerians who are farmers.
Dr. Tangan says the initiative is now transitioning into PFI 3.0, with Murphy set to take over operations from the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority by November 2025. He noted that the next phase will emphasize year-round nationwide availability, cost efficiency, and strong traceability to curb hoarding and diversion.
One thing I can assure you is that contrary to any insinuations or any perceptions, we are committed, both of us are committed to ensuring that we work together to ensure that this transition is smooth, it does not disrupt the sector in any way. If anything, share experiences, share insights to ensure that PFI 3.0 becomes even stronger than it has ever been.
President, Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria, Sadiq Kazim, says the PFI has facilitated the production of over 128 million bags of fertilizers, with more than 90 blending plants now operational nationwide. He added that the country's blending capacity has grown to 13 million metric tons.
Capacity, we have improved from the commencement of the PFI in 2016 to date. There are more blending plants available. We have today the capacity to blend up to 13 million metric.
With Nigeria's agro-industry base set to expand, stakeholders says PFI 3.0 will further empower farmers, reduce reliance on imports, and bring the country closer to food sovereignty. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
And now to news making rounds on the international scene. The United Nations has condemned treason charges brought against South Sudan's first Vice President, Riek Machar, describing them as reckless. Machar, who has been under house arrest since March, was suspended by President Salva Kiir over allegations of subversive activities. The charges have sparked fears of renewed conflict in the fragile country, which is still recovering from years of civil war. Moving to South Africa, where a judicial commission has set up by President Cyril Ramaphosa to investigate explosive claims by a top police official linking politicians to criminal gangs has begun its public hearing, weeks after a delayed start. Police chief for the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Nala Makwazi, says the country's criminal justice system has been subjected to a continuous threat, as well as sabotage over an extended period. Uyi Agbamafurigbe completes the report.
Africa's most industrialized nation is plagued by deep-rooted crime and corruption, fueled by organized networks. In July, Provincial Police Chief Nkwanazi had accused Police Minister Senzo Mchunu and other senior officials of obstructing investigations into the cases, including politically motivated murders.
It has been my aim that I want to demonstrate that the criminal justice system has been subject to a continuous threat, as well as sabotage, which has been with us over an extended period, to a point where we believe it is at real risk of a total collapse if nothing is done. Therefore, urgent and effective interventions are required in order to avert this outcome.
Nkwanazi, a prominent lieutenant general with more than 3 decades of service, was the first to testify before the panel in the capital, Pretoria. He has placed a demand on the commission.
And I believe this commission will stand to play a very important role in order to help us to prevent this total collapse of the justice system in our country.
His allegations had led President Ramaphosa to suspend Mchunu and announce the 3-member commission chaired by a former Constitutional Court judge. Uyi Agbamafurigbe, reporting for Global TV News.
Let's move away from Africa to India, where the government has issued a health alert after infections and death caused by a rare waterborne brain-eating amoeba doubled compared to last year in the southern state of Kerala. Numbers are still tiny, but Altaf Ali, a doctor who is part of the government task force to arrest the spread, stated our officials are conducting tests on a large scale across the state to detect and treat cases. Officials report 19 deaths and 72 infections of Nagrela, Froela and Meba this year, including 9 deaths and 24 cases in September alone. And now talking sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles have slipped one place to 45th in the latest FIFA World Ranking after mixed results in recent international matches. The team secured wins against Rwanda and Congo, drew with South Africa, but suffered defeat to Sudan and Senegal. On the continent, Nigeria now ranks 6th, while Spain dethroned Argentina as world number 1 for the first time since 2014. Nigeria's ambition to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games is gaining momentum as members of the Commonwealth Bid Evaluation Committee carry out an inspection of facilities in Abuja. Our sports correspondent reports on the visit and what it means for Nigeria's sports and economic trajectory.
India and Nigeria are the two final bidders to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games, with Nigeria proposing Abuja and India proposing Ahmedabad. The decision will be made by Commonwealth Sports in November. Following the evaluation of their formal proposals, India's bid also serves as a potential stepping stone for hosting the 2036 Olympic Games. Leader Commonwealth 2030 Bid Evaluation Committee Darren Hall said the visit was aimed at bringing to life what Nigeria had outlined in its proposal, noting the committee looks forward to working closely with the country in the months ahead.
We're here to work with you, to talk to you, to really learn and bring to life what we've seen in the proposal that you've pulled forward, and we're really excited to see all the wonderful venues and just to see all the passion and all the people that have pulled together such an exciting proposition for Commonwealth sport and for Nigeria for the future.
According to Shehu Diko, a member of the bid team who doubles as the chairman National Sports Commission, Nigeria's bid has been described as robust with strong backing at the highest level of government. He added that President Bola Tinubu has already signed a guarantee letter assuring the Commonwealth of Nigeria's commitment. He said the evaluation team will also hold meetings with the National Security Advisor and leadership of the National Assembly to review security and legislative frameworks required for hosting.
After your inspection and other engagements in Nigeria, you will be convinced that Nigeria is really committed and is able, more than able, and have the capabilities and the possibilities to host what I will term the best games ever in the Commonwealth, because that's our ambition and that is what we want.
The Director General of the National Sports Commission, Bukola Olopade, emphasized that Africa's time has come, stressing Nigeria's readiness to deliver games that matches global standards while advancing the continent's place in international sports. He argued that hosting the Commonwealth Games would not only reflect Nigeria's growing economic capacity, but also deepen inclusivity by bringing the games to Africa for the first time.
It would be foolery and ludicrous for anybody to believe that as Nigerians who live in the best country in the world, with the most intelligent people in the world, that won't be able to host the Commonwealth Games. And don't forget, Africa has never hosted these games. It's going to the Centenary Games, the 100 years of the game. It's high time the Commonwealth Games came to Africa.
Nigeria has a history of hosting continental and global competitions, from the All-African Games to FIFA Youth World Cups, and hopes to build on that trajectory as it seeks the nod to stage the 2030 Commonwealth Games. If successful, Nigeria would make history as the first African country to host the Commonwealth Games, a landmark achievement for both sports and the economy. Aniette Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
Still talking sports, Super Falcons legend Onome Ibe has officially retired from professional football after a career spanning more than 2 decades. The 32-year-old defender earned 109 caps won 4 African Women's Championship titles and became the first African player to feature in 6 FIFA World Cup tournaments. Widely regarded as one of Africa's greatest female footballers, Ibe's retirement marks the end of an era for Nigeria women's national team. Away from football to athletics, where Nigeria's Nathaniel Ezekiel has become the first Nigerian in 38 years to qualify for the men's 400 meters hurdles final at the World Athletic Championships. The 22-year-old clocks 47.47 seconds to win his semi-final tournament in Tokyo, beating Qatar's Ismail Abakar and United States' Caleb Dean to secure a historic spot in the final. If he wins a medal in Friday's final, Ezekiel will be the first Nigerian and the 5th African to reach the podium in the event at the Global Championships. And that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now I'm showing on the screen using a Global Television NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.